Real Madrid might have to sign another left back or at least look at other options because it's looking like a deal for Alvaro Carreras is going to be very difficult to get done at the moment. It's complicated. According to reports, they're saying that the two clubs are not able to agree on a price for the player. I'm seeing reports saying that Benfica want Real Madrid to pay his release clause in full. His release clause is 50 million euros. Now, we know that Real Madrid, we're cheap, okay? We like to penny pinch. We like to save money any way necessary. And I told you that when I first found out about his release clause, I knew Real Madrid were not going to pay that because I don't believe this guy is even worth 50 million euros. But I want you guys to get in the comment section and let me know what you think about what's going on at the moment. We're going to look at two different reports and we got to talk about it because we're dealing with a club that sell very well. Like Benfica have made so much money over the last few years selling their players. And it was always going to be interesting to see whether they would budge on that release clause. And it looks like they're not willing to negotiate that price down. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. Let's get it. Now, I remember about a week ago when all the reports were saying that this Alvaro Carreras deal is very close to being completed. They were making it seem like the here we go was gonna drop any day. And then things just went completely silent. And I already knew why we stopped hearing updates about this transfer. That release clause was always going to be something that could potentially mess this deal up because Real Madrid were never going to pay that. I've told everybody this. We're not that club that just goes out there and throws around money anymore. The board are very conscious with how we spend financially. And Alvaro Carreras is not a player that is worth that 50 million release clause. But when you're dealing with a club like Benfica, you have to realize negotiations with them are not going to be easy. They are basically the Portuguese version of Dortmund. They sell very well. We're going to look at their record transfer fees and you'll see some of the prices that they've gotten. And you'll see some of the flops that they've sold to other teams for high amounts of money. But if they're not willing to negotiate on this release clause, then I think Real Madrid should 100% start looking in the market for other left backs. I already told you guys. Yes, I'm excited that we're trying to bring in a player in that position because our back line does need a major overhaul. We've signed Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've already gotten Dean Huyson. Now we need to address the left back because Ferland Mendy and Fran García are not good enough. And I think with the way that Xabi Alonso wants to play football, you definitely need a better fullback that's going to be good on the ball and that can also do good work off of it, right? Fran García, he's not of the level to start at Real Madrid week in, week out. We should be selling him. And Ferland Mendy, I think he's just better as a left-sided center back if we do end up running a back three because going forward, Ferland Mendy is trash. So we do need to address that position. And it looked like Alvaro Carreras was the favorite, right? We got linked to all these left backs, but all the reports were saying that the club wanted him. Now, he is from our academy, right? And then we ended up letting him leave, and then he joined Man United's academy. And the reason that I think Benfica are being really difficult with this price is because they don't own all of his rights. Manchester United will get 40% of any deal that he goes for. And I think this is the reason that Benfica aren't willing to budge. Now, the reports are saying that the Alvaro Carreras signing is becoming complicated. Benfica are refusing to accept anything less than the release clause. It also goes on to say that Real Madrid are negotiating hard for Alvaro Carreras, but they will not pay any price. Benfica are open to negotiating the 50 million release clause. Now, when it says negotiating the release clause, I don't think it means that they're open to negotiating the price down. I think they're open to negotiating how it gets paid, right? Now, generally, when you trigger a release clause, you have to pay it all at one time. We know Real Madrid do not want to do that. So Benfica are hoping that maybe we just pay it in installments. Maybe we do over 2 or 3 seasons. But again, I don't think he's worth this kind of money. And I think there are other left backs in the market that we can go get that are maybe even better than him. Because I told you guys, this signing for Alvaro Carreras, it doesn't move me, right? Like, I haven't watched a lot of him, right? I've only watched maybe 3 games this season in the UCL, and he did look good against Barcelona. I think he did do a solid job against Lamine Yamal. But at the same time, I don't think that we have to really haggle over a price for him. If Benfica are not willing to do business, then we move on. The transfer window for the Club World Cup is open right now. We have 10 days to register players. We need to head into that tournament with a left back. We cannot afford to waste time. I know that there were reports of Real Madrid looking at Miles Lewis-Skelly. Miles Lewis-Skelly, the left back at Arsenal, only has a year left on his deal. Why not go make an offer for him? I think he's a better player than Alvaro Carreras. He moves me a bit more. And this is not me trying to undermine this signing, because if this is the guy that Xabi Alonso wants, then I would like to get this guy through the door. But at the same time, we cannot waste so much time on a player that I'm not too sure about. Now, if any of you guys have watched Alvaro Carreras more than I have, then get in the comment section and definitely let me know. But look at what Benfica do in the transfer market. Now, let me share it this way, right? This is some of their signings that they've sold over the last few years. João Felix to Atletico Madrid, 127 million euros. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea, 121 million euros. Darwin Núñez, 85 million. Ruben Diaz, 71. Goncalo Ramos. Look at these transfer prices, bro. This is a part of the club's motto. This is how they keep the lights on at Benfica. They are a selling club. Just look at the money that they've made, like, over the last decade. It's actually crazy when you think about it. So again, they were never going to just negotiate his price down, especially when they're not going to be getting all of that money. Now, I think if Real Madrid want to try and be smart and maybe finesse Benfica, then what you can maybe do is go to Manchester United, right? Because they have a buyback of about 18 million euros. If you go to Manchester United and then you convince them to spend 18 million, bring him back, and then maybe we give them like 36 or maybe something like 40 million for the player, then that kind of cuts Benfica out of the deal. Now, I don't know how complicated something like that can be, but what I do know is that if they're not willing to negotiate, we have to move forward. I don't think that this guy is worth all the hassle. Now, I know, again, he's from our academy. The club would like to bring him back. He's very good on the ball, and he looks like he does have a lot of potential. But at the same time, there's other options out there. But I get it, right? Real Madrid want to bring in Spanish players. They want a nice little Spanish core in the first team, right? You bring in Dean Houchen. Now you got Alvaro Carreras possibly coming in. Again, we need to revamp our back line. But it's going to be very hard to get done. So get in the comment section, right? Let me know what you think about the updates that are going on with this player. Are there other left backs that you want the club to look at? Or do you really want them to get this deal over the line? Should Real Madrid just activate that release clause? I don't think so, but maybe you think differently. Get in the comment section, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications.
Let there be carnage.